Well, since Chris Tarrant asked who wants to be a millionaire 3 years ago, over 32 million people have called the hotline, but only 2 have hit the jackpot.
Which king was married to Eleanor of Aquitaine? Henry I, Henry II, Richard I, or Henry V? She had £500,000. She could have walked away with that. You've just won £1 million! You had £500,000, you went for trees. If you'd gone for grain, and you didn't think it could possibly be grain, if you'd gone for grain, you just have lost £460,000. You are a millionaire!
Brilliant.
She's seen more than I've done. She has seen every...
I have.
She tapes them all.
I tape them.
She does.
I do.
Twigs, how sad is that?
She
Chris,
tapes
them all.
Tarrant, thanks for joining. I do. That's really true.
Do you really want to be on it?
Oh no.
No.
No, but I don't mean.
Would you be any good?
I don't know. I can answer them at home, but I would think it's
Everybody says that. I always get 250,000 at home.
But I think probably have seen. I'm your biggest fan.
What gets it for you then? What do you like about the show the most? What?
It's just because every competitor comes on and it's like a new beginning, and you really root
that's
for
actually
them.
spot on. That's exactly why. I mean, we're nearly 200 shows in now.
Yeah.
It is amazing how it's taken off. But that's why I still get a huge buzz out of it. You sit there with a complete stranger.
Yeah.
I mean, you have no time. They just literally turn up from Northern Ireland or Scotland or wherever, like 4:30 in the afternoon, 7:30, and you're in this it's very public, but it's also this very sort of intimate adventure with a complete stranger, the two of you, and you were playing for like life-changing sums of money, and before your very eyes, you know, it's still that. It is that drama thing about it. It's a real. I've said it before. I mean, it's a soap opera, isn't it?
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, where does your motivation come from? Because it is hard to be there, you know, firing on all cylinders all this time after all these shows.
I mean, I remember exactly the same period last year, you know, coming up to the first show, and I thought, you know, you sign a contract for, you know, God knows how many shows or whatever. No, and I'm just sort of thinking, after all this, you know, you're looking at this schedule. I mean, last year it was 101 nights. It was like a rock tour, the last series. We crawled away in April. You know, it's like Genesis the World Tour, except we went to Boreham Wood for 101 nights. But I remember sitting there on the first show thinking, God, I hope I still enjoy it. And actually, this guy came on. He didn't sort of change the world. He didn't win, you know, £500,000 or whatever. But within minutes, I'm going, oh my! And it was one of those his wife's up there going, you fool, don't risk it, and all that. And you thought, I love it.
But there's some, because as an audience, there's some that you really want to get it, and there's some actually you think, oh, get them off, I can't bear them.
Not many, because
because
quite often people say to me, oh, that bloke last night, you hated him. And I said, no, actually, what that's about is you hated him. It's true that you as the audience hated him. Mainly, I mean, even the ones who come in and they're really up themselves in the afternoons and the girls are going, oh, I don't like him today and whatever, they calm down. Once it gets down to serious business, they know all these people are watching, all their mates are, you know, watching them at home, whatever, they think, oh, my God, perhaps I'm not as clever as I thought I was. You know, they do calm down. The guy who tore up the cheque, he was hard to love.
Right, yeah.
I remember that about somebody. You were brilliant with him, though.
I mean, this show now, what, 70 countries, something silly like that?
You blinked and missed it. It's now...
It's mental, isn't it?
It's now 120. Apparently, Yugoslavia, Ecuador and the Caribbean have come in this week, apparently.
Really?
Yeah. Colombia have just taken it. That'd be strange.
So do they all have lookalikes like you hosting it?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, there's some quite good-looking ones.
But weren't you asked to do the American one?
Yeah, originally.
Why not do Nan Robinson then?
What? Because I can't be in so many places at once. I actually, I mean, I've been through this sort of thing before where I was offered a radio show in America, and although I've got several American mates, the working conditions in America are just madness. I mean, they do not have any life. They just, you know, the suit. I mean, American radio station. Oh, I promise I'll do this, by the way, to my producer. Sorry, the American radio station. Yeah, the American radio station. The suits are in at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and then after you finish at 10 or whatever, you have a meeting. You know, about the show, about something you said at 6:10. Think, oh, I couldn't deal with that. And they're doing lots of this. Good morning, Atlanta, Georgia. Loads of that. I mean, really, I find it quite scary. And I know that millionaire over there, I mean, it's just colossal. I mean, probably bigger than here. It's monstrous, but...
It's not as good as...
It would be manic to work.
I don't need that. I
wanted to go to Australia.
But it's not as good as your one. It's not. I've seen it. It's not as... You built the tension.
But I want to do it from Boreham Wood. I don't want to go and live and work in America. I don't want my kids growing up in Los Angeles and New York.
You say that you have to work a good hour. You have to do a good day shift over there. But you've been doing, you know, quite a lot of work over here. You've been getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning for how many years
As I did this morning.
Well, exactly.
Racing from Capital Radio.
So, you know, you are a bit of a workaholic.
An alcoholic?
Oh, well, yes.
I enjoy it. I still get I mean, people can say, why do you keep still doing stuff? Because I enjoy it. I mean, you know, I think people think I get out of bed and I do sort of backflips and good morning, you know. And I mean, like anybody else, I hate my alarm clock.
Right.
You know, I hate the guy at Capitol who rings me up every morning. But once I'm there, you know, I get a coffee in my hand, I get Guns N' Roses on or whatever, and people still make me laugh. People come on the line at like 6:05 and just say something funny, you know, and you think, God, it's a good way. I mean, I still enjoy it.
So
That's hard at 5:05.
Yeah. Where does the energy come from then? Where does this?
I mean, I do no exercise whatsoever. I did a little light fishing and you know, that's about it.
But
really.
I read this week you're going to take a year off. Is that true?
I read that.
Did you?
Which was
You
a great
didn't know
shock to
anything
me,
about it.
A great shock to my agent. A great shock to the producer of Millionaire.
But your wife was happy.
I've got a contract at the end of next week. All I ever said was that I'm always getting like a week off here, a week off there. And you can't do China in a week. You can if you're an American. You can do, today we're doing Shanghai and tomorrow we'll do Burma. But I can't do that. I want, you know, so China and places like India, China, whatever, you need some time. And I've said sooner or later I'm going to take some time. But it can't be. It was like, you know, I'm leaving tomorrow when I read it in the papers. It'll be in a year or two. I'm going to take some time out. Right. Just a gap, really, to get my head together.
So you don't know if you're doing it yet, but you might be.
What's that?
Taking a year,
Yeah. We're down the line, because there's places
There's loads to do. There's loads
to
of stuff.
see.
Now, tell me about home life and stuff, because your wife's getting busy as well, isn't she?
She's getting very busy.
Yeah, Ingrid.
It was about Ingrid, that's it, well remembered. Yes, that's
When was the last time you saw her?
Yeah, she's doing loads of stuff. She's doing a bit of telly as well. She's doing this telly thing she's starting to do. She's writing a load of stuff for the magazine. She enjoys it. I mean, there was a period when the kids were young that, like, you know, really and truly, it was like one of us had to sort of stop and I was sort of still running around like a headless chicken doing stuff. But I think now I mean, it's good for Ingrid to have like her own sort of self-respect.
Do you like the fact that she's getting involved in telly as well?
Yeah,
Is that not
why not?
encroaching on you?
We don't want to do this, though. We're not doing this. I could not. I love her to pieces, but I could not work with my wife.
No?
How Richard and Judy did that, I do not know.
Don't know
Seriously,
yet.
it'd be a nightmare.
I think it must be quite difficult.
Especially you had a row,
imagine,
you know?
Yeah.
In the
Well,
morning,
I remember one morning when we do have the occasional fallout, and we had all the sort of the old back-to-back stuff at night and all that sort of not speaking and stuff, you know. And I stomped off to work. We had a row the night before, and when I got home in the evening, it was like, oh, sorry, and it's all right, love it, all that stuff, you know, the sort of the make-up time. She said, "I'll tell you how cross I was this morning." I said, "What?" She said, "I listened to Tony Blackburn." So who suffered there? Taught me a lesson.
Now they're going to put The Weakest Link on opposite Millionaire.
I saw that. I hope they do.
I hope they do, because you're winning spades.
Well, I'm just fed up with all the hype around it. It's done this, it's done that. I mean, it hasn't done that well. I mean, I've gone on record before saying I just don't think it's the reason why Millionaire works so well is that drama, which you really don't get on The Weakest Link. You don't get time to meet the people. They're sort of bundled out fairly brutally before they've done anything. And I think it is the most extraordinary, perfect format. I mean, the reason why Millionaire is so successful is this incredibly simple format. 15 questions, you get to see the questions, you know, each time before you make up your mind. The money goes up from 100 quid to £1 million. You got 3 lifelines.
Why do we all
I've just
think of it?
told you Millionaire. That's it. There's nothing else, you know.
I also hate...
And I just think Weakest Link is not as strong a vehicle. Instead of just hyping around saying we're achieving this, we're achieving that. Millionaire was in the ITV, BBC top TV shows every week, at least 2 places last year, you know. Now, The Weakest Link has not yet done those sort of ratings. So go head to head with us and we'll see what happens.
See what happens.
But also, don't you hate this thing about being nasty to people?
I find that very
it's a
strange.
bit of a fashion at the moment,
I think
actually think it's
there's something
horrible.
rather strange, rather complacent about just sitting there with, you know, like all the answers written up going, well, you're not very clever, are you? I think that's a bit...
It's odd for us. I mean, doing game shows and things, you'd never do that, would you? You're never allowed to go across the bridge.
Well, you encourage people.
I mean, I really do. I think it shows. I mean, I really do want them to win. You know, I don't want them to lose it. I mean, quite often I'm saying, look, you know, it's up to you, but you know, you've got a lifeline, and after that, get out of here. But I mean, I don't want them to lose, but I always want them to go as far as possible.
And if they do win $1 million, hopefully there'll be a couple of winners because a few more people maybe know how to play it a bit better.
Yeah, people are getting better at playing it. Actually, a bit better.
You want them to be excited, you know.
Good luck with the new. You don't need good luck, but good luck with the new series. And thanks for coming.
So when's it start?
Will you be taping it?
Oh, absolutely. I'll be watching it on taping. I don't miss
used to
it.
tape Crossroads. To me, that says it all. Tomorrow night, ITV.
Tomorrow night, ITV time, 8:15.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Now, time.